When you think about college soccer here in the US, what comes to mind? Probably a bunch of American kids, right? Chasing that classic college dream? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and show you what the game really looks like. Let's get into it.
Yeah, this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. There's this massive misunderstanding about who's actually playing. The reality of a top college soccer team today, it's not that homegrown ideal you might have in your head. It's a global marketplace now. And the competition, well, it's tougher than it's ever been.
37%. Just take a second and let that number sink in, because this one number, it's the key. It's the key to understanding this huge shift in the very DNA of college soccer. That's right. More than a third of all Division I men's soccer players are international. So think about it. If you're a 17-year-old American player, you're not just competing against the kid from the next town over. No way. You're now up against a 22-year-old from a German pro academy who probably already has an agent. This isn't just some passing trend. This is the new reality.
Okay, so let's dig into our first reality. The roster is global. And we're not just talking about a few international players sprinkled in here and there. We're talking about a complete reinvention of how these teams are actually built.
So while that average is 37%, believe me, the numbers get way more extreme the higher you go. You look at certain states, and it's almost half the players. But get this, in the national championship final, a staggering 73% of the starters were international. The message here couldn't be clearer. The best teams are the most global teams.
So you have to be asking, how did this all happen so fast? Well, it was kind of a perfect storm. First, coaches got under a ton of pressure to win now. And older, more seasoned international players were basically a shortcut to do that. Then technology like YouTube just blew the doors open for global scouting. And finally, this whole new industry of recruiting agencies popped up to professionalize the entire thing.
And this really shows you the two parallel worlds that exist now. On one hand, you've got Jake from the USA. He's sending emails out into the void, paying for these expensive camps and just waiting. Then you've got Miguel from Spain. He's a mature player, pro background. He hires an agency and boom, multiple offers in just a few weeks. It's like they're playing two completely different games to get to the same place.
I mean, this analogy is just perfect, isn't it? That international pipeline, it's a professional pit crew. But for so many American players, it's a total DIY job held together with duct tape. The playing field isn't just uneven, it's a different sport altogether.
All right, let's get to our second reality, the program as a business. Because this isn't just about winning games on the field. The financial structure behind college soccer is the real engine that's driving this entire global machine.
At first glance, this seems like a total paradox. College soccer is what they call an Olympic sport, which, let's be honest, is basically code for a program that doesn't make any money. On paper, it loses a lot of money. So how does it even exist? Well, there's one very, very specific reason. Just look at these numbers. The athletic department, it loses almost $900,000 on soccer. But, and this is the big but, the university itself brings in almost $1 million in tuition from the international and out-of-state players on that exact same roster. The soccer team isn't really a sports program, it's a revenue machine for the university's admissions office.
And that right there is the most important thing to understand. The athletic department is taking a loss so the university can make a profit. That's the real game. And you have to realize the second that financial equation stops making sense, that program is on the chopping block.
And that delicate equation is under more pressure today than ever before. With all the new rules, all this new money is pouring into football and basketball, but soccer doesn't see a dime of it. So, to pay for that arms race, athletic departments are cutting other programs. And the result? It's brutal. Over 40 men's soccer programs have been cut since just 2020.
But okay, amidst all this crazy competition and financial pressure, there's actually a really powerful upside. College soccer is not a dead end for pro dreams. For a whole lot of players, it's actually become a second chance.
And this is a total game changer. Think about it. In most of the world, if you're not in a pro academy by 18, your dream is pretty much over. But the US college system, it literally extends that critical development window by 4 more years. It gives players time to mature, to get stronger, to get smarter.
And we're talking about a totally legitimate pathway to the pros. These players get access to incredible facilities, top-tier coaching, and national exposure on platforms like ESPN. And Major League Soccer? They now use the college system as a de facto development league, constantly scouting and signing players who prove themselves here. So, knowing all of this, how in the world do you actually navigate this brand new system and come out on top? All right, let's break down the playbook.
For American players, listen up. The old ways just don't work anymore. Your highlight reel has to show your tactical brain, not just your flashy goals. You got to target programs that still actually value domestic development. And most importantly, find someone, a mentor, a service, who really gets the system. You just can't afford to be changing your own tires in this race. And for all the international players out there, you have to prove you can make an impact from day one. Do your homework. Research schools that have a great track record of helping players from your country succeed. And please, vet your recruiting agency carefully. You need to talk to their past clients.
So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, this isn't some temporary phase. The globalization of college soccer is a system. It's driven by cold, hard economics and powerful technology. And for better or for worse, it works for the coaches and for the universities, and it is not going anywhere.
Which leaves us with this one final thought. In this new landscape, just being talented isn't enough anymore. The players who actually win, who succeed, they're the ones who understand the system. They get the money, the pipelines, the strategy. They aren't just playing the game on the field, they're winning the game behind the game. So the only real question left is, do you?